everyone. I'm Matt Williamson at Williamson NFL. How is it going? Great over here. Weather in Pittsburgh is crazy nice still, even though we're halfway through October. Insane. Recording this on Tuesday afternoon, evening. A couple things I want to talk about. So I was just down at the Steeler facility, and not like I have this great news to break, but I didn't realize it till just now. I think everyone realizes that the Steelers, Tomlin, have really struggled on the road Thursday night football. And, you know, that's not his specialty. And frankly, you look at his career, we just talked about him after a bye. You know, the longer he has to prepare, more so than most coaches, the better his record is. You know, so I guess there's two ways of looking at it. You know, you get a Bengals team here coming around the corner. It's going to be a quick turnaround. History has not been kind to Tomlin and the Steelers on the road in particular in those instances. But then you get a long time to prepare for the better team, you know, the week after that. But anyway, he is 2-9 on the road on Thursday night football. I'm not making excuses for him, but most coaches have a losing record on the road on Thursday night football. His is particularly poor, no question. And their last road Thursday win was in 2016 in Indianapolis. Ouch. But what I didn't know just a couple minutes ago, and I wanted to make sure you guys all knew, was there's this new quarterback in town. Maybe you've heard of him, you know, Aaron Rodgers. And he too has been in the league a long time and has played a lot of Thursday night football games. And he's played 18 Thursday night football games and has a 13-5 record. Pretty darn good. What do you think his touchdown to interception ratio is in those 18 games? It's 42-5. Wow. Now, will his good mojo erase the bad mojo? And what about Flacco? And that's who I want to talk about next, was Joe Flacco. So we discussed this a little when the trade was made. And frankly, Tomlin's kind of complaining about it. And I know it's kind of like guy code. You don't do that. You don't trade a quarterback within the division. But hey, I give the Browns credit. They got something substantial. I mean, it was a 5th round pick and, you know, for a pick swap. For a guy that has no chance of helping them in the future, I don't give the Browns a hard time for that. But if Tomlin thinks it's dirty pool or whatever, well, you're not in the Browns' awful shoes right now. Who cares? That doesn't matter. The fact is the Steelers are going to play against Joe Flacco in a day or two here, depending when you're listening to this. Watching Joe this year, before he got benched for the Rook in Cleveland, wow, was he bad. I mean, bad. And not the best environment, but still, I thought, wow, you have to get Gabriel in there at this point. This dude can't play anymore. He's putting the ball in harm's way without any of the benefactors of being aggressive. Now, it's only one day, one game, but he's hardly been there, and he only gets a couple, you know, a practice and a half, basically, after the game this past week to prepare for the Steelers on Thursday night. I'm not saying he's a new man, but it was noticeably better, to his credit, than what the Bengals have been playing with since Burrow. So he gets the ball to Chase. He gets the ball to Higgins. They don't run the ball well at all. The O-line's pretty darn bad. They're the pass heaviest team in terms of run pass percentage in the league. And they probably still will be. And I'm sure, and even Yoshivas, the third receiver for them, made some plays with Joe. But I just wanted to let you guys know that, you know, you might just watch that game briefly and been like, Bengals stink. They got blown out. Now their defense is terrible. Don't get me wrong. We'll get more into them tomorrow when we really break the game down. But he gave them a shot in the arm, and he gave them some professional quarterback play. And he at least lets the ball go and allows those two awesome receivers to make plays. You know, they were so frustrated before that unless they're wide open, the ball wasn't coming to them. Joe doesn't care. Yeah, I mean, and I think this is going to affect Higgins more than we even saw this past week. That if Higgins was one-on-one with Porter, Joe put it up, you know, and that's scary. I mean, again, who knows how, you know, exactly he can influence the game, but he does have that above the neck Aaron Rodgers-esque, not as good, of been there in the building, experience, all that good stuff. He has no extend plays, playmaking, athleticism traits left at all, of course. Much less than Rodgers, to be honest with you. But he's got a big arm, and he's dangerous because he'll let it fly. And if the chips fall his way, his two receivers could have big days, So just wanted to put that out there because I have not been kind to Flacco over these last couple of weeks when we brought him up.
Football season's finally here. Time to check out the latest odds, futures, and win totals on the FanDuel Sportsbook. Think the Steelers are headed to the Super Bowl? Lock in your bets today. Whatever your game, FanDuel Sportsbook delivers the latest lines, futures, and specials so you can join in on all the action.
Another thing I wanted to discuss just briefly, I don't want to get into too many names other than one. Trading for another receiver. Now, I don't think there's any chance that happens before Thursday, but then you do have a mini bye long week that maybe if you're going to make that move, you might act on it now. Now, I have mixed feelings. And I'm not saying the Steelers all of a sudden are the Super Bowl contender. You got to push all your chips in and go win it. But the division and the conference has been really kind to them. And more so than I thought a couple weeks ago, I would be a little more aggressive on that front. And we could talk about Olave or Ayuk or DJ Moore or Jacoby Myers or whatever, and I don't know that this team really wants to have two huge contracts at that position, considering the way the offense is structured. But the one I just keep getting today, and I hesitated to bring it up because it's kind of more clickbaity than I do business in this, on this space. But I've been asked about it a ton. If I guess there's smoke. That doesn't mean there's fire of A.J. Brown. And we know he is disgruntled in Philadelphia. He has a history with Arthur Smith. He was college teammates with DK Metcalf, which is incredible, by the way. And I think he would love to get out of Philadelphia. And I've been asked 100 times today. That's why I'm addressing it. Is this Freiermuth and Highsmith for Brown conversation real? But my answer is I have no clue if it's real. Not even a smidgen of it. But I could see if Philly were to move on from him, that might be the type of deal they'd be interested in. You get another pass catcher. You can play things a little different with Goddard, but he's similar to Goddard. The Steelers aren't using Freiermuth to the fullest extent. This team the Eagles will always try to get more pass rush, more playmakers on the defensive line. Highsmith absolutely qualifies. And from what I've been told, maybe they would kick you back a depth outside linebacker edge guy like Ojulari, who would immediately be the Steelers 3 with over Sawyer probably, but whatever. I'm sure there'd be draft picks back and forth. I don't know. This seems bigger than what they would want to do, but the familiarity. A.J. Brown's tape this year hasn't been great. And some of it is effort, frustration related. Some of it worries me that he's starting to slow down. He's had a lot of lower body injuries over his career as well, and they could take a toll. He's had a very physical player that's taken a beating over the years too. Is that starting to take a toll? Not that he's old, but if you asked me 6 months ago who are the top 5 receivers in the league, he'd be one of them, but I don't know. I just wanted to throw that out there because so many people have asked me about this rumor, and it's a rumor that the Steelers and Eagles are chatting about Brown for a player swap. I mean, the Eagles wouldn't want to pick They want to win now. And you do have some guys that would be useful to them. But overall, I just wanted to put it out there. I would not get to the point of need a receiver at all costs, but I would ramp up my, buying power a little more now, as this trade deadline approaches. I mean, Calvin Ridley or, some of these other, there's a lot of names. Olave is a really useful one. Shaheed, there's a bunch of names. And even someone's a little lesser, a little cheaper, I would have interest in. Also, because I do think wide receiver is going to be an offseason need either way. So why not address it now and, check that box while also maybe winning some games with that guy this year. So that's what I got for you. We'll preview the game a day from now. Over and out.